Hello Internet, welcome back to our Cataclysm tutorial series. Last couple episodes we've been looting the lab some. Going to continue doing that, of course. We're going to spend the next probably 2 or 3 days here minimally, just clearing out as much as we can. The labs are so... They contain so much value, you know. I don't think we've talked at length really about what you can find here. Is there a reason I'm here? Was I recharging the jackhammer? Is this turned on? It is. How are we doing battery-wise? Let's just chill for... Oh, we have the car running as well. Okay, let's just chill for a while. I guess we'll wait a few minutes. Southeast, you hear? That's what cars sound like, right? I've never heard a car. I've only ever seen that in print. Looks like it's not really charging the battery very much. We're just going to turn this off, I think. We have a charge enough for taking down one wall, which, you know, is not amazing, but it is what it is. Looks like we have a fire started here as well. Why was I doing all this? It's been about 5 days since I played last. Definitely wield the steel spear, and we don't need to carry the home wrecker with us. The fact that I'm carrying the home wrecker... Oh, yeah, definitely turn off the engine. Go ahead and turn this off. The fact that I'm carrying the home wrecker makes me think we were trying to knock down a wall, but I don't remember, so we're just going to dive back into things. Did I steal a kitchen unit from somewhere? I did. It'd be nice to install that so we could just cook in here as well instead of using the brazier and firewood. I don't really feel like doing that right this second, though. Let's head back down to the lab. Yeah, labs are basically just chock full of goodies. Oh, another hazy cloud. We're going to have to wait for that to dissipate out of the doorway. Really annoying. The way that gases dissipate in Cataclysm can be a little infuriating because they will stay indoors for long periods of time. This is most noticeable when you kill a smoker or a gas zombie. So let's just take a look around and see where we were heading to. Okay, it looks like we got up to here and stopped. Where was that fire vent? We really don't want to mess with that. That was up here. Okay, so we'll head to the east here. Should be largely clear. Do I still have my flashlight? I do. At least I favorited it this time instead of dropping it. Why do I have a soldering iron as well? I wish I had looked at my footage before I started recording. Yeah, labs are great, man. They contain so much stuff. Boop. And the flashlight, again, very crucial. Okay. Always open doors on a diagonal. Okay, it looks pretty clear. I don't know if there are other ways. We hear a sound. Not in here, though. We really don't need another screwdriver set. There we hear sound again. This may just be us opening the doors is making sound. Weird that this is completely empty. Open on the diagonal. I'm sure there are other ways to clear the lab, but this is the most reliable way that I've ever found, is to use the flashlight, peek in every room, etc. Okay, so here we found what we're looking for. Now, we talked about heading to the exterior areas of the lab in hopes of finding certain special rooms. This is what that will look like most of the time. You will find a terminal next to a locked kind of shutter metal door. There are a couple ways to get in. Number one, you can hack the computer. Number two, you can pickaxe through the wall. The only way to know what this contains is to interact with the terminal. So we're going to interact with the terminal. This is a prisoner containment section of the lab. This is one of the more common and less valuable parts of the kind of sequestered rooms. Basically, inside of this, I mean, I guess we should open it up. I really hate doing it because we're going to lose all that battery charge from our jackhammer, but we'll go ahead and do that. Getting real frustrated with the constant jackhammer needing to be recharged. I really wish we had found a gasoline-powered one, but that's okay. And by gasoline-powered, I mean I wish we had found a freaking pickaxe instead of a jackhammer, but That's okay. We'll get our jackhammer and we'll crack this open. And mostly I'm only going in here for demonstration purposes. If you actually want to get to the good stuff, it's going to require multiple pickaxes to get in there. I think three different walls would need to come down. We're just going to open the first layer so we can get eyes in there. And I might just teleport inside just to show you where the valuables are. This again is one of the most common, least valuable kind of special rooms that you could come across. So we'll head over here. We'll see a lot of these in the lab. They're really only good for a couple things. So we'll go in and we'll talk about it once we get in. We're going to need a plank as well. Okay, give me the plank. Boop. And we will rest until we get our stamina back. Okay. So, in general, I try to pickaxe down doors. I think we talked about that before. Doors and glass walls and stuff will be faster to pickaxe through than the concrete. Plus, when you go through the concrete, you then have to smash the rebar. In something like this closed metal door, we actually don't have the rebar to deal with. So we'll just go ahead and jackhammer through the door here. Same thing, I'm going to open it on a diagonal. Here we hear tat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat. That is a machine gun firing. So we can peek in here. Oh, is there not a pit here? Oh, that's weird. Usually that leaves a pit even if it's a door, I thought. Okay, let's activate our flashlight and peek in here. There are often enemies right inside the door, so it's pretty good to be careful here. Usually when you enter this section of the lab in a prisoner containment area, there are scientist zombies, and this is good for a couple reasons. Number one, scientist zombies used to be pretty scary. They had a couple special abilities, but they have been removed, so they're not that difficult to kill. They're actually very easy to kill. The first benefit is that they can drop a lot of cool stuff as loot. So number one, they often carry fully repaired, fully cleaned bionics on them. So it's a great place to find some basic bionics. They often carry surgical tools on them. So if we were hurting for a scalpel or X-Acto knife, pretty frequently they will drop scalpels and things like that. So that's a good thing. They can drop lab coats, which we discussed previously are pretty good. In fact, we're wearing one, I see. And then finally, they can be dissected for additional bionics. Now, those won't be cleaned. They'll be filthy and need to be cleaned and sterilized and stuff, which we'll talk about all that eventually. But they're a good source of science-type CBMs. So CBMs in the game are broken down into types when they're coming from monster dissection. There is the civilian version, which is what you'll find on the basic shocker enemies. There is the science version, which the only ones I know of that drop them are the scientists. I'm sure there are other places that use that item group, but the science zombies are the ones that come to mind. And then there are military ones, which you will get from like the Black Ops, like Special Forces. What are they called? The oh, I'm blanking. They're the ones that like know kung fu essentially. There's a zombie that we maybe will see in this lab, and it's basically a zombie that if you get too close will beat you up and knock you down and stuff. What are those called? I'm blanking on it. It's not the Black Ops zombie. It's the bionic. Okay, we'll see them eventually. Sorry, I can't remember what they're called. But the military ones often are the best CBMs. Science CBMs can be pretty good, and then civilian CBMs really aren't very good. It's very basic stuff that you're going to get rechargers and stuff like that are pretty common and not that hard to find. So scientist zombies can have some pretty good CBMs on them. So that's the main reason we would be looking for them. Now this looks clear. They would spawn in this area, so it looks like this is a clear area. We don't actually have anything. And if we come inside here, we have a little medication shelf. Here we have caffeine pills and tramadol. Here we have some oxycodone. So pretty good meds. Oxycodone is pretty good. And then over here, there can be medicine and stuff in these lockers. And then there's usually just sunglasses here. In fact, I can't remember anything other than sunglasses that I've seen spawn there. In the past, you used to be able to find CBMs in this area. I don't know if that is still true or not. But you might as well check the lockers because for all I know, they're still there. Now this is prisoner containment. Basically, it's just a bunch of cells with zombies in them. they're not going to get out. Pretty much nothing that you see in these cells is going to be able to get out. If there's a Hulk, I don't know if they're strong enough to smash through the reinforced glass, but they are strong enough to punch you through it. So like if we had a Hulk here and it punched us, we could fly through the glass and it would break the wall. But I don't think them smashing the wall is actually going to break it down. So I think you're pretty safe as far as things go. There can even be really scary stuff in Prisoner Containment. There we have a Brute. He's definitely not strong enough to come through. There can be some pretty scary stuff in here, but for the most part, it will not be able to get out. Really, just don't mess with them too much. If you think something, if you see something that's like really dark red, but its name is really dark red, which means it's very difficult, and you've never seen it before, and maybe you don't know its capabilities, stay away from it. If you stay out of line of sight, it's probably not going to follow you. So let's say we saw something super scary right here, we could just bail, and it's probably not going to be able to follow us by the time it would break through everything. So now, if you wanted to go even further in here, let's say there was a zombie in here that had CBMs that you would want to kill and loot for CBMs, you could come over and break in the door and go fight them or whatever. That's usually not really worth it. There is one more thing. We'll just teleport in here. Again, it's a tutorial playthrough. I'm not going to take any of the loot, but I want to show what's back here. If you can get back here, there's a little locked cupboard, and inside there can be some pretty good loot, medication-wise. So if we come in here, literally garbage. All we got was caffeine pills. Used to be you would find really good stuff in here. They definitely have changed it to where it's less valuable now because I almost never find anything worthwhile. And you'll see in order to get here, we'd have to pickaxe down the main door, pickaxe into this section, and then pickaxe through this door as well. So it takes quite a bit of time to get in here, and in my opinion, it's just not worth it. I said I wouldn't take these, so we'll drop the 10 caffeine pills, and we'll teleport back out. So I don't see any real reason to come in here. If there's a zombie that has CBMs when you dissect them, that maybe is a good reason to come in here. But other than that, it's not worth your time to really do Prisoner Containment. You'll find medication here, and you can find stuff in the lockers here, and that's really all you need to know. Also, desks can have things. You might want to step up to the desks to see what... Oh, these are not desks. These are desks. Silver watch. And just some garbage here. This is actually just a counter, so we can see there are lighters here. Of course, if you were in a lab start, finding lighters can be pretty good, but for the most part, from the north you hear whack. Yeah, that's them punching the wall. He's not, like I said, he's not going to be strong enough to break the reinforced glass, so not a concern. So that's Prisoner Containment. Really not worth the time, in my opinion, for the most part. I'll usually pickaxe in the initial area in hopes of finding some zombie scientists, because again, they can be butchered for CBMs. So that's really it. And again, these things appear at the periphery of the lab. So this is only here because this is as far north as the lab will go. There's no door connection in here that will lead somewhere else. This is a dead end for this section of the lab, and that's mostly what we're looking for, is those different dead end sections. Gotta be a little careful walking around with your light on if you haven't fully cleared an area, but we've been through here already, so let's get out of here. So this whole section leads nowhere. There's nothing else up here for us to explore, so we'll back off and pick a different direction. Let's turn this off. So where do we want to go next? This is all a dead end up here. The fire thing we can't really get past safely. So let's stop going in that direction. There's a west over here, south over here, and then the main section where we came in has rooms in all directions that we have not explored. So let's just head west. Fievel. Is that his name? From the Great America? It doesn't matter. Anyway, he was a mouse. None of this matters. We are tired. I'm not super concerned about that. Our character is unhappy. Why are you unhappy? We are wet and cold. When did I get wet? I guess we were standing in the rain. At least I enjoyed an apple. I have an apple Snapple here, by the way. It's like my new favorite beverage, apple Snapple. Pretty sure it's made with real juice drink from Continental. It tastes like a liquid apple, which I love. Contains 10% juice. Oh, that's not very much. 47 grams of sugar. Okay, well, I shouldn't drink these. That's more sugar than Mountain Dew has, by the way. Mountain Dew has 46 grams per 8 fluid, or per 12 fluid ounces. This has 47 grams in 8 fluid ounces. That's so much sugar. Oh my god, I thought this was like better for me because it's actually apple stuff. But okay. Let's we should really be using our light because I am dumb. Peek, check, nothing. Barracks, not super interesting. You can find some clothes here, but it's almost never good clothing. It's usually the cargo pants, honestly, are probably the best thing that you're going to find here. You can find sweaters and stuff if you're looking for wool scraps. I never see leather gear in there. I don't know if it's possible to have leather gear in there or not. So dissector room, nothing in there, unfortunately. Just keep exploring. This room's ominous. Oh, it's another barracks. No turret or anything. Again, not really going to be anything in here. Radio has a light battery disposable in it. We'll take that, I guess. We dropped it on the ground. I guess we're... Why did it drop it on the ground instead of putting it in my inventory? Okay, doesn't matter. Let's continue here. Want to peek, make sure there was no turret down there. These long hallways are scary, so what I'm going to do is turn off the flashlight. Oh, but there's light here. We're already in a light square, so if there was a turret down there, it would have shot at us already. So that's a little dangerous. A little exercise area. I've seen these spawn. One, there was a turret here before, but I think that was during the buggy turret placement days, so I don't think that that's something that's normally here. But also I've seen a horde of fat zombies spawn in one of these, so that's something to be mindful of. I do like smashing lights as I go. Has some aspirin we'll take. Still carrying that jackhammer, unfortunately, so we're very overburdened. But I wanted to continue exploring until I was ready to go to bed, basically. Okay, we found a little living area. These are pretty good. Just be careful as we go in. These are pretty good because they often have food in them. Mostly it's perishable food. There's not a lot of like food storage stuff. Dive bag, 1.5 liters, 12 liter storage. I mean, it seems like a fine thing, but I don't care about it. How's our equipment? Is great. Yeah, these living quarters are pretty good because they can have a lot of perishable food, which is good because you can sometimes need food in the... Oh, we're hearing the slimes over there are plopping. The blobs, excuse me, they're not slimes. Definitely not slimes. These can be pretty good for a couple reasons. The perishable food is nice. There's another variant of this that has curtains. So you could find a section where you could get long strings for crafting. They also contain stoves, which allow you to cook things. They can also contain pots and whatnot, which we forgot our pot. So finding a pot would be nice. And then they have toilets as well, which you can use for water as well as the bed to sleep in. So pretty valuable. Nope, no pot. Pretty valuable thing, so worth checking. We're seeing some broken glass here, which is a good indicator that there are zombies about. Ooh, that's pretty good as well because this is probably a CBM closet or vault. So we're just going to be careful that we don't get exposed to a turret here. I'm guessing the dogs broke out. Ah, there we see a dog, yes. In fact, he has seen us, so we'll kill him. Let's fall back into the room. Of course, the dogs are somewhat difficult to hit. Just going to be really careful we don't get exposed to a turret here. Lots of broken doors. This is really worrisome because basically with all the doors broken, if there's a turret way down here, it might be outside of our vision range, but because we're lit up, it could take some shots at us. So very important to pay attention. Make sure you don't miss a hostile detected message. We talked about that in our turret video. It does look mostly clear here, which is nice. So we're safe here. Check this final room just to be extra careful. Okay. So let's talk about this closet. It's either a CBM containment closet or a mutagen closet. Now, either way, there are sometimes turrets directly in front of those. So if you're going to go in here, I highly recommend you do so from an angle. don't stand here and pickaxe in, because as soon as it's open, the turret will be exposed to you. So the best thing you can do is pickaxe from the corner and then peek, as we have been. Get in there. If there's a turret in there, we would want to back off and shoot it. Now, because of the lit area, we're going to want to smash these before we pickaxe. Turn off your flashlight. Still very bright in here. Why is it so bright in here? Is there a light on one of these? Teleporter, overhead light. No. Can I haul? No. Can I advance inventory? Yeah, that's the item teleporter, so we should be able to move that off of there. And we should be able to move this away. Yeah, there's the light. Still very bright. Why? Let's close up these doors. Get rid of these lights. I'm not happy about this. Why is it so bright over here? Because I have the flashlight on again. Oh, hello, doggo. Where'd you come from? Okay, so now it is dark in this area, so we feel pretty comfortable here. I don't like being in the light in the lab at all. It makes me very nervous. So I'm actually going to clear out basically all of these lights. Okay, so, God, it's so bright in here. It's hard to tell because if the light spawns on a furniture tile, ooh, definitely take that. It's another mutagen book. If it spawns on another furniture tile, the only way to see it is by highlighting that tile in the menu and looking up here. You'll see it says overhead light. So we would have to go one by one over all the furniture tiles until we find the light. So that should take care of that. Again, same thing in here. We would have to look for the overhead light, and generally there's more than one that spawns in each room. So now it's properly dark. I feel much more comfortable now that we're fully in the dark. And we would pickaxe on the diagonal, peek with our flashlight. If there's a turret in there, we'd turn off our flashlight, back up, shoot it the same way we've dealt with the other turrets, then proceed inside. If we pickaxe in and we peek and there's nothing in there, then great, we just go in and take the goodies. So let's check what this is. Again, we do this by checking the console here. It is a bionic vault. What that means, these can spawn in a number of layouts. So sometimes you will find them at a corner, and it will actually be two vaults. It will be one vault here and one vault here. Unfortunately, we got not a great layout. We only have this one room. And what this basically looks like, we can kind of see the outline of it. You'll see the walls here are different. These are metal walls. And it's because this is a vault, essentially, a little bionic vault closet thing. So this room is basically this big. It's, 3 or 4 tiles deep, and then more metal wall and whatnot. And it's basically just a narrow hallway with shelves on either side, and they'll have bionics on them. Most of the time, the bionics that spawn in the vault actually aren't that great. Unfortunately, despite being in a lab, despite the trouble you have to go through to get access to it, it's mostly going to be rechargers. So the way bionics work in Cataclysm is that you have an internal storage of battery charge. We currently have 0. If we go to our at menu, you'll see it says we have 0 bionic power. That's because we don't have any batteries in our body at the moment. Bionic batteries, basically, they're called, what are they called? Battery... Oh, God, I'm blanking on everything today. Is it just the battery storage mod? Whatever. Basically, you put a battery in your body, then you have a certain pool of energy. Rechargers are bionics that let you recharge bionic energy. There's quite a few of them. Joint torsion ratchet, the battery recharger system, which I believe we already have one of. The joint torsion ratchet, the metabolic interchange, the ethanol burner, there's another one. But basically, those are CBMs that let you recharge bionic power. That is 90% of what you will find in these vaults. In fact, you will often find duplicates of the same CBM over and over. So if we go in here, it might have 3 battery rechargers in this vault, even though we can only install 1 of those things into our body. So it's oftentimes not as valuable as you would like. I don't think it makes sense because this is a vault inside of a science lab. You would think this is where they would house their most valuable bionics, but it's just not set up for that. And when I went to look to try and change that myself, because I didn't like that. I felt like that should be like the most valuable stuff in there. When I went to try and change that myself, I could not find really how to do that. So unfortunately, it's not great. It's great if you have no bionics. Like we currently have none. So getting in there is definitely something we're going to do because it's going to reward us with more bionics than what we have at the moment. But ultimately, it's probably not going to be as valuable as you expect it to be. I'm just trying to manage your expectations. We're tired. We should probably eat something. Let's drop the bacon. Where's my food? Didn't I bring food? Oh, I brought MREs, right? They're not listed in the eat menu. Let's grab a beef stew. Beef stew sounds delicious. So we'll come out here. We will take this apart. MRE beef stew. Disassemble. We'll go ahead and disassemble the dessert pack and the MRE accessory pack. And we'll just eat everything. Beef stew, delicious. Cookie, cracker, chocolate bar, chocolate candy, dehydrated fruit. And I'll leave the rest of this. You know what? Eat the gummy vitamin. Why not? Just for the sake of realism. And then we have the drink powders, which we could use to make drinks, but I generally don't do that just because. Take the matchbook as well. We'll drop this stuff here. All this stuff we don't really need. Oh, yeah. Yep. 26 minutes. Probably ought to let the vehicle run some. Getting real tired of doing this, though. Just wait 5 minutes. No, that's not 5 minutes. Wait 5 minutes. Check the battery charge. It's getting about 300 charge every 5 minutes, so basically 1 charge per second. God, that takes so long. Okay. 1 charge per second, so let's wait 30 minutes. It's no fun to just stand around. I could have gone to bed and just let the car run, but I don't like the idea of wasting gas, even though we have gas. I just would rather not do it. Still don't even have enough charge for 1 wall to be knocked down. Let's turn off our recharger. Turn off the engine. I really hate standing around doing nothing. We could go for a drive again, but at this point, unfortunately, we've already... Basically, there's just this road. We would have to come all the way over here if we wanted to explore somewhere new. I just don't want to drive that far, to be frank. So let's just go to bed. Is this engine off? Yeah. Batteries are around 50%. 29% gas. I mean, we have plenty of gas. It's not like I can't go somewhere or do something. I just don't really want to. Anyway, let's just put on our headgear and go to sleep. Yes. Again, being in the dark in a lab is completely irrelevant because we're indoors the entire time. So when we're out at base and I was trying to manage my time and what, I could only do vehicle work during the day and we could only really explore at night and that kind of stuff. That's obviously a big deal, but in a lab, none of that matters. The CBM closet is ultimately a nice find because it lets me show you what those look like on the inside and give you a basic rundown of how to manage them. And then, honestly, just to manage your expectations with the CBMs, because I've cleared probably 15 or 30 of those over the last however long since they've been implemented. And they're cool when you find them. They seem like a really neat idea, like it's a special vault with their CBMs. But then when you get in, 90% of the time it's not very good. Even if you don't have any CBMs, it's nice to find CBMs, but you're going to find duplicates a lot of times. A lot of times they're not what you want. And then once you do have CBMs, it's basically stuff you already have and it's no reason to go. Now, I do think you can find really good ones in there. It's just you really don't. You mostly find the same kind of crappy ones over and over and over. So, yeah, not my favorite place. I think they're cool, but I think they could be buffed a little bit in what they drop because they're not super common in the lab. They're one of those that's like, oop, heard a gunshot. You'll find them once every now and then. It's not like it's something that spawns in every lab. heard that gunshot, by the way. The last like 4 episodes, I had completely forgotten to turn my sound on, so they were completely muted. I don't know if anyone noticed or not, but in my turret video, we got burst fired down, and it didn't make any sound at all, and I felt bad later because I'd forgotten to turn my sound on. So don't need the headgear, and we can just pop out. We are hungry. That MRE really was a pretty low amount of calories, so let's have another MRE. We'll do chicken noodle chunks or whatever. Inventory, disassemble, take that apart, yes, take that apart, yes. Yeah, MREs were nerfed, so they have fewer calories now. It's something like 800 calories. They used to be like 2,000, which is fine. I think that because people were upset about it, but I think ultimately it's good because most MREs are meant to be a single meal replacement. They're not meant to be a full day's worth of calories. So although people were upset, they were like, oh man, I really want, you know, a full day's worth of calories in one little compact package. I don't think that makes a lot of sense because in the military, they're actually broken down into meals. So they're meant to be individual meals, not full days worth of calories. They would come in a pack of 3 if it was meant to be a full day. I'm just gonna wait 30 minutes. I need. We see a beagle. I don't want to kill the dog, because we need this jackhammer to get in that vault. So let's turn everything off again. Nope. Oops. Turn off the recharger. Turn off the engine. Grab the jackhammer, which now has enough for us to get into the vault. And that's where we'll call the episode. We're going to get into the vault in the next episode. Oh, God, got to wait for this again. Okay, let's just call the episode here. So for now, thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned something. We covered Prisoner Containment, and we talked a little bit about the CBM closet, which we'll check out in the next episode. So for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.